There's a big yellow thing in the sky. The weather is warming up, and that means spring's right around the corner. So Fiona and I want to share with you all the things we're doing to get through the winter, get ready for spring. But we've also got somewhere where we need your advice. So please, if you can, help us out.
Welcome to English Country Life. My name's Fiona, and together with my amazing husband Hugh, we run this small holding homestead here in Lincolnshire in the UK. And as Hugh said, the weather's getting warmer, and that means we've got to be ready for spring. And today we're going to show you some of the things which we've been up to. We've been starting seeds off, and we're growing some really interesting varieties this year because we do try and grow as many of our own foods as possible. We've been harvesting some trees, and actually that's from felled trees from friends, and we want to show you what we're up to and actually how we're making use of every part of the tree. We've also been fertility testing Hercules, our Buff Orpington rooster, and if you've never seen that process you might find it fascinating. And then finally we need your advice because we've got a big project we want to undertake later in the year, but we're not quite sure which direction to go in, so stick around and give us your advice.
Honestly, seeds is one of the things I enjoy in the winter, and we start seeds as early as January because we want to extend the growing season for things that naturally grow in a warmer climate, because honestly if we wait till sort of April to start those seeds, they won't get enough time to fruit and to produce what we need. And we want to grow lots of things like chilies and tomatoes and all sorts, so we naturally have a longer growing season than we can manage. And all we do is we use those basic sort of 20 quid heated propagators. We use the little modules that go inside, and we start them off usually on a windowsill or something, and once they've sprouted we may transfer them into a normal sort of sealed seed tray so it doesn't leak out the bottom and drain all over the windowsill, and we grow them on. And honestly, as spring progresses it starts to look like the Garden of Eden when you look like our windowsills. We're cramming them in everywhere, and we're even going to try a few grow lights this year. Now, as well as doing all that normal stuff, we always want to try something new, mainly because I get bored. So we've got 2 plants here that we've started this year, and there are 7 brownie points available if anybody can guess, and genuinely guess. So stop your video right now, have a look at the pictures and put something down in the comments if you know what both of those plants are. Now, one on the left is a luffer. When did the word loofah turn into the word luffer? I don't know. Back scrubby in the bath thing. You wanted to imagine me rubbing myself down with something hairy, didn't you? So there's an image you really needed. Fiona really wanted to try them. She also wanted to try melons this year, so we're growing both of those. I go weird. So this is sugar beet. And in the past I've grown sugar beet, we've made our own sugar, but it was before we did YouTube, and a lot of people have expressed an interest in growing your own sugar. So I'm thinking about filming the process this year. If that interests you, let me know and we'll do a full video on how to produce your own sugar. And the other one I'm growing just for weirdness is licorice.
Anyone who's watched this channel before knows I'm completely obsessed with our chickens, and we do breed Buff Orpingtons, who are these beautiful orange yellow colour of chickens. They are just so friendly and wonderful. Now, to keep the genetics strong when we breed from our chickens, what we need to do is replace the breeding cockerel every single year, because otherwise he'd actually be breeding with his offspring, which wouldn't be good. So the specimen this year is Hercules, and he is wonderful. He's such a sweet little chicken. He does actually like his wattles being rubbed, and that's not a euphemism. That's actually genuinely, he does like it. But he conforms to the breed standard. He's very friendly and he's just lovely. But is he doing his job? And we test for fertility in a very simple way. So we let him do his job, let him tread the hens, and then we pick up a number of the hens' eggs and pop them in an incubator. If they're fertile, after 7 days we'll start to see a network of blood vessels and 2 little black dots, which are the start of the eyes for the chicks. And we can view that by actually shining a very bright light through the egg, and that's a process called candling. Now with Hercules here, he actually had 100% fertility, which is fantastic. But even better than that, we actually incubated all of those eggs to term, and we have never had this before. We'd expect an 80% rate of those eggs to hatch. all of his hatched, every single last one, and they were great little chicks, good examples, no issues, fabulous little things. So they've now gone up the road to a friend that we're paying back for some favours. Now what we've decided to do, because Hercules is so good and our current set of hens are so fabulous, we're going to start a hatch to order service. And if you are interested, drop us a line and we'll send you details. But Hercules really has turned out to be a little star this year.
As a modern day peasant, I'm obsessed with wood. It's how we heat, it's how we cook, it's how we make things, it's how we mulch. We use it for almost everything. And because it's winter, we've been doing a lot of work with wood. We've had blown down trees that we've helped friends to harvest. We've had tree extractions from weed trees from another group of friends that we've been also able to help to harvest. We've ended up with a lot of wood. So behind me, I've got a mix of both poplar and leylandii, and that's all going to end up in our new log store in the yard. 16 cubic metres of wood that we'll season for 2 years, and then there's a good year's worth of heating and cooking there for us. And we're also going to use that space for something else. And it's amazing how these woods vary. So poplar, honestly, you can split it with a butter knife. It's just beautiful, straight grained, easy to split stuff. The leylandii, totally different ballgame. It's kind of gnarled and twisted, but we need the 11-ton log splitter on that, and then it splits beautifully. And of course we also get loads of wood chip, both from our tree harvesting and from our friend the tree surgeon. And that again varies. So the pine stuff has a natural weed suppressing version on it, and we've got to be careful where we use that. Fiona loves to mulch the flower beds to keep the weeds down and to keep the moisture in, and that's brilliant. But you don't want something in there that's going to suppress growth. So we use the pine and spruce stuff on the paths, and we use the broadleaf stuff for the chickens and for mulching in growing areas.
This is where we need your help. This used to be 2.5 veg beds. Now I say 2.5, it was 2, but we decided to put an extra one in the middle to join them together so I could grow some chamomile, but it didn't really work. So they've come out. Now what we'd like to do is put some kind of structure in here which is going to give us longer season growing, because we've got 2 greenhouses at the moment, but they're very, very expensive. They cost a fortune to buy, they cost a fortune to install. So we're looking at 2 other alternatives, and we do have the benefit of the high hedges here, so wind shouldn't be too much of a problem. But the 2 alternatives we're thinking about is polytunnels would be the first one, which would be the cheapest version. But we drive around the areas and we see a lot of people with polytunnels where there's little rips in the polythene, or it's gone opaque, or it's gone a bit green. I mean, is that normal, or is it just it's outside of the growing season? We don't know, so please advise us. And the next level up would be a polycarbonate tunnel kind of arrangement. Now, we've got no experience of them, so we don't know how robust they are. We don't know whether they'll actually work in this space at all. And we don't know how easy they are to maintain. So if you've got one, please advise us. We'd really love your help. So is it polytunnel, polycarbonate tunnel, or go full hog and go greenhouse?
So there has been a lot of please tell us today, because we are doing some new stuff and we really don't know. And honestly, you know, I've seen a lot of polytunnels that got ripped and got covered in algae. I've seen glass houses with panels blown out, and we've had glass houses with panels blown out. I've got no experience of polycarbonate, and for a bigger structure particularly, I'm sure there are different factors that come into play. So for any of you that got an opinion, got experience on larger covered structures, please give us the benefit of your wisdom down below in the comments. And also let us know, do you want to see the licorice? Do you want to see the melons? Do you want to see sugar making? And all of those, we're going to take that input and we're going to drive the video agenda for this year going forward. If you want to see those videos, everything else we produce, tap on subscribe down there and hit the bell next to it. It's a free service that lets you know when we upload a new video. If you've got a couple of seconds to spare, give us a thumbs up while you're down there. But for today, thanks for joining us. Come back and see us soon. Take care.